Hello, Scorpio. My name is Tanya, and I'm going to be doing a mid-month update for you for March. I did do some pre-shuffling, but for some reason I was compelled to shuffle again. Well, let's see what your oracle card is going to be. So, I have a little bit of a you reap what you sow vibe going, but let's look into this and see. Oh, wow. Looking at the picture, this is it's like a connection to new growth, to opening up to something new in your life, whether that has to do with intuition or possibilities. So, new possibilities you had not considered before may be coming through. All right, let's look at the words: planning, setting intentions, and optimism. That would help with you reap what you sow. If you're always focused on the negative things and what you don't have, on what you lack, the universe tends to give you more of that. If you can turn your thoughts more to optimistic thoughts, to the things you have that you love, the things that you enjoy doing, what you desire to have, and set intentions to have more positive thoughts, to be more optimistic in your outlook. That might be the intentions or the seeds that you're planting here in the second half of March. Okay, and for some of you, this could literally be because now we're getting into spring, right? March is it's heralding in spring. But some of you may be literally planting a garden with big hopes that it turns out much better than it did last year. So planting the seeds for the future, planting the seeds of hope. Thinking about what it is you want to sow, what you want to get out of life, out of your garden too, and focusing on that, focusing your intention on prosperity in that area. All right. Let's see what your tarot cards have. The Four of Wands, a celebration of life, of marriage, of commitment. The Hermit, where you're going within, alone time, or at least more quieter, more reserved, introverted energy. The Devil, some temptation coming your way. The Nine of Pentacles, success and appreciating where you're at, having appreciation for the garden you're building, even if the garden is only in your mind. It's beautiful. And then the Two of Cups, maybe a renewed commitment or a new commitment. All right. So if I look at this overall, let me see. We have Wands, Wands, Pentacles, and Cups. So there's a lack of communication in here, which to me is saying a lot of this second half of the month has to do with that introspection, with that going in within, with the planning, the ideas, the thoughts, the setting of intentions. This could be where you're maybe planting, what is it? If you are, I'm not a gardener, so just be aware of that. When you're planting the seedlings or planting the tiny little seeds on the counter in the greenhouse so that you can get them germinated or started so that they're ready to go into the ground as soon as the ground is ready. That feels right for some. But all right, let's go and see what each of these individual cards have. The Four of Wands. So wands themselves are a fire element. They're bold, vivacious, blunt, passionate, creative, adventurous. The Four of Wands, though, fours are about stability, foundation. The Four of Wands is about a celebration of a coagulation. That is not the right word. You're bringing two lives together. So it could be marriage, it could be engagement, it could be a baby shower. What I'm feeling is this is a ceremony or a celebration involving two or more people. But they're committing to each other. They're bringing two sides, two sets of people together. So there is celebration, there is love, there is joy, there is hope. And this may be where you start getting some of your ideas if you're planting a garden of um, seeing some flowers or plants in this area in at the location of this event. Um, there might be something there that you want to try. And there could also be this could be maybe where you meet somebody here and you start having thoughts or ideas for the future. Is this a possible connection? Is there a future in this? And then you start to think, really, what do I want out of a relationship? What are my must-haves? What are my not no-goes? What are my red flags? Because you're seeing how these two people interact, which is inspiring for you and raises that hope and that optimism that there's somebody out there for all of us. But we have to be open and ready to receive. So you're starting to get into that receptive mode. And then we have the hermit. Okay, that makes sense here. This is that time of thinking, of taking time to really determine what is it you want. Where is your own light leading you? What things dim that light? Those are the things you would want to avoid. What things help that light shine brighter? What really lights you up? That's what you want to seek out. That's the feeling you kind of want to grow or have when being around this other person that you're imagining or considering. That companionship, I'm seeing this, their light is a little fairy. But the fairy is totally committed to this little hedgehog in leading them down the right path for the hedgehog. Because the fairy could go anywhere they want, right? They could take off and leave them, but they're committed. This is they are one entity. And that light, that heart energy here is just being shown on the outside. Yeah. And it is a 9, which is nearing the end of a cycle. So maybe you've been alone for a while or have been thinking about this off and on for a while, and you're getting very close to being ready to step out, to put yourself out there again, to be open to someone or something new for you. But you are definitely understanding what exactly it is you're going to want. And then we have the devil here, temptation, deceit. This could be you and your own doubts and fears, maybe from a past relationship or things that happened in the past. If they're sticking to you, if you're still feeling them and letting them impede your progress, letting them get in the way of moving past or helping you move past. Just be aware. I feel like there's something else in there that they want to put in. Your awareness of the fact that it is in the past and that you are ready to move on is going to help you get past that, but just be aware they might creep up there again. You might be triggered throughout this process here. Um, to revert to past behavior, right? To past reactions. But it doesn't feel like you're really going to fully commit or you're going to be able to pull yourself back out of it pretty quickly. Because it feels like you're strong, you're really overcoming it. You've had some healing time and now you're focused on the positive things. But there's going to be something, maybe you encounter an old flame or person from your past that would trigger you. That's going to try to tempt you to come back to some old behavior or some old stomping grounds where you weren't really happy. You did not enjoy that time. Their memories are not the same as your memories. And you can say no. You do not have to go with them just because that's what's always been done. You do not have to do that. You can take a different route. You can choose to go out with some maybe new people you met at this event instead of the old crowd. Because you want to get to know these other people. You want to get to know this other family. You want to get to know this other group because you feel like you fit in more with them. So this is shaking off some shackles from the past, is ultimately what I'm getting here. You're not going to let all these vines curl around you and hold you in place anymore. You're leaping out of that and moving on. But the devil will put temptation in your path and try to trip you up. So be aware of that. Awareness really, really helps you sidestep it. Which you do. If you don't get caught up here, if you don't let yourself sink into that morass, you can push yourself through it. You have the Nine of Pentacles, where you're taking time to just really recognize your progress, recognize your successes, see how far you've come, see the home you've built for yourself, the environment that you've built for yourself. You put your stamp on it, and it feels a lot like this is just you. In the past, you have just kind of let things, like you've left the old paint on the wall as you move to a new place, but you leave it as is, or have left it as is for a long time. And now it's like you're coming out of your cocoon and you're ready to paint the walls red or purple or everything a fresh white, whatever it is that draws you. No arguments here. I have a hard time picking paint and selecting because I like them all. But you're setting the mood. You're putting your stamp on it. You're nesting. You are nesting and making your home, putting your stamp on it, your home to reflect who you are, who you really are on the inside, with no limits on how you can do it, what you can do with your rooms, what colors, etc. But just enjoying that sensation, that feeling like, oh, what? Whose permission am I waiting for? I don't need to wait for anybody's permission. These are my walls. What color do I want to paint? And just even going out and get a bunch of sample points and slap them on all the walls in the room and let them sit for a while and see what works for you. But there is this sense of a huge satisfaction, this resurgence in energy and satisfaction with your home life, with what you have around you. I love that kind of energy. So potentially some remodeling coming up, or at least painting the house, your home, in addition to possibly working out on the garden. And again, even with the garden that you're creating, you are free to put it in whatever part of your yard you want. You can do raised beds. You could plant in the ground. There are different options that you have, but you get to design it. You get to make it yours. And then we have the Two of Cups. Now this, I'm feeling that it is that spark of a new romance. Meeting somebody who feels, on the one hand, very familiar to you, but you've never met before, that you feel really connected to. It can be a little scary, but there's huge potential in this new relationship, in this new connection you have. So take your time though, right? You know what you want at this point. You know what you don't want. This person may be hitting a lot of the wants. There's mutual respect and mutual space where you're giving each other the room that they need to grow, and while at the same time supporting each other. So it's a very good relationship. Does this need to be a romantic one? No. This could be just somebody you met here that you really connected to, that is more of a friend. It feels like it's going to be a lifelong friend. You guys are on the same page, have similar senses of humor. You get along very, very well. There's a very strong connection there. But it does not necessarily have to be romantic. And for others of you, I'm not really feeling a renewal of an old connection. This feels like a new connection. So yeah, I'm going with that. If it keeps getting pushed down as fresh and new and blossoming energy. So that's what we're going to go with here. But be aware that an ex or somebody from the past is going to try to pull you back and away from the success that's coming. So be aware of that and find a way or pause or do something to say, yeah, no, I'm not interested anymore. I mean, thank you for asking, but I'm not interested anymore. And they don't have to be happy about it, by the way. They don't. You do not have to make them happy. This is about making you happy and thinking about your future and what's best for you. Because you deserve that, Scorpio. You deserve to have this success. You deserve to enjoy your space and make it whatever you want. Because that's yours. And that's a beautiful reading, Scorpio. I wouldn't mind that reading at all. That's nice. Please hit that like button and please hit subscribe to help me grow my channel. I am trying to get to the point where I can focus on this more full time. And I started doing lives on Fridays if you want to join me there. The times might vary a little bit as I travel full time. But generally every Friday I'll be online for at least an hour. And yes, readings will be available there for at least the next few Fridays. Maybe beyond that. I'm making plans. Okay. That's what I have for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you later.